Like it or not, the Turkish are making ever increasingly good guns. This one retails at £1,289, quite a bit for a Turkish gun. It is the new Webley & Scott Sport X, and I'm here at Barbary today to give it a workout and learn more about it. Let's rock and roll. On paper, it's got everything you could possibly want. It's £8.6 in weight, which is about the right weight for a big clay gun. 30 or 32 inch barrels is a 30-inch spec gun. Palm swell, adjustable comb, half decent grade 3 wood. But I suppose the proof's in the pudding. Let's get it shot, shall we? But before we do, a quick mention that this gun is being given away at the British Shooting Show. All you need to do is turn up and go to the Highland Outdoor stand, and you could be in for a chance to win. Sign up and away you go. More on that later. Let's see if it's worth winning, shall we? Could have started on an easier pair. That income is quite spicy in itself. Doesn't look very fast, but needs a good bit of shooting. And that looper, the way the stand's located, you're having to shoot it on the way down. It really doesn't feel £8.6, that is for sure. It actually moves a little bit less steadily than you'd expect for a big gun, but that's no bad thing. So a lot of people out there like that speed. Quite instinctive for a heavy gun. All right, let's shoot a few more stands and break the gun down, shall we? So far, better than expected. Definitely better than expected. This is probably where we should have started. A nice simple going away target. Just find out how the gun moves, where it shoots, sort of the point of impact kind of stuff that is semi-important. Chuck some whole super vast fibres in there because, well, nothing here today they're not going to break. Although I have brought some sovereigns for giving it a proper test. It shoots where I'm looking, that's something. We like when it shoots where we're looking. Shoots a little higher than it looks like it should, but that's no bad thing. You can get used to that very quickly. Well, one cartridge left. One thing you'll notice, the safety catch is actually cut down into the action with the selector. That's a lovely little feature. It means it doesn't stick out, it keeps the lines kind of smooth, and also keeps it tight feeling, gets a nice positive stop either end. It's a nice touch. Actually, not a bad feeling piece of engineering as it goes. Right, one last shot, let's go. I say it feels like a lightweight gun in the shoulder, but actually, the recoil is really, really minimal. It recoils like an £8.6 gun should, and a lot of Turkish guns do kick more than they should. This one is about where it needs to be, which is nice. So we've upped it up to the 1600 feet per second sovereign parkour. Put the shot cam on. Let's smash up a few stands and see how it moves with some serious action involved. Ooh, pressure's on now. Okay, you should have probably seen that pair first. That's quite a hard pair, it says on report on the board, but sim's fine. Missed the first target, held way too far back. Hold out a bit further, really came through on the second. I like the way this gun moves. You can definitely tell its price point just by the way it opens and closes and feels. But I guess you're not looking to compare every gun to the best in the world. Does it represent good value for money is always the big question. And so far, yes. Right, next pair. Three pairs, drop two. I'm going to try shooting it the other way around. Maybe that's easier. I mean, this is definitely a tough sim pair. Ooh. Neither way makes me happy. I'll take that. That's not the end of the world. 12 targets, drop 4, 8 out of 12. Not where I wanted to be on the first station, but it is a new gun and it does handle differently to what I'd expect. Well, certainly different to what I'm used to. Yeah, with any new gun, you've got to take that sort of bedding in period. Every gun likes to be shot differently. Some love to be shot swing through. Some are just, you need to bully them a bit more. This one I found really just likes to be put in front of the target. It's not the smoothest gun to move around, but when I just placed it in front of the target, bang, and same with the second one. It's almost a bit more like my old Maruk in terms of no pretty lines, no pretty moves, just die. All right, mix that. Stand 9 did actually take a bit of learning, and I'm starting to get to grips with this gun. It definitely feels to me like it is better shooting maintained lead with it, which is something I don't do a lot of anymore. But amazing how quickly I sort of slipped back into that habit. I tried shooting them both swing through, but it just wasn't as pretty. The confidence really came with just parking, watching, bang, bang. And perhaps that's just the way this gun moves, because there's not a lot of midweight to this gun. And so, although it's £8.6, that £8.6 is in different places. It's easy to look at a piece of paper, I guess, as I did at the beginning and go, okay, I've got a good handle on this gun, but there is no substitute for actually getting behind it and pulling the trigger. Last stand. Let's see if we can hit a few more. Now we're learning the gun. So what does £1,289, or in fact just going to the British Shooting Show and attending the Highland Outdoors stand at B9 get you? Well, it gets you one of these. And I think we'll all agree that aesthetically, it's a very pleasant looking gun. And over the last 75 shots, I've kind of got to know it a little and really explored its nooks and crannies. So let's start at the back and talk through what we're getting. The stock is 15 inches in length and it has this inch-long ventilated pad at the back with a hard heel plate. They've opted to make this stock different to other makers, which is no bad thing, you know, because if everyone makes their stocks the same, then everyone's going to struggle the same with fit. You'll notice this one has a very, very harshly angled toe in. It's probably a couple degrees or at least a degree more than standard. I noticed that immediately when mounting the shoulder, I'm getting more top contact than bottom. For me, this isn't ideal. I prefer a gun with a little bit more toe out because there's not a lot of me and I'm quite gangly. This will suit someone with a bit more muscle, a little bit more meat on the bone around the chest area, and so it's not necessarily a bad thing. I didn't find it overly kicky or overly pressury. I just definitely felt the contact in the top more than all over. But again, I'm me, you're you. The wood is Turkish grade 3. Oil finished walnut, and I really think it's a lovely piece of wood. One thing you'll always get on Turkish guns is great looking wood. Obviously most of the wood is coming from Turkey, or at least that part of the world, so they do get first dibs on it. Aesthetics is obviously the key value here. This is much nicer than most grade 3s and I think it's really good looking. Good looks aside, you don't break clays with good looks, but it does make you feel better. Let's talk about the wood and the stock design. First things is that it comes with a lot more right hand cast than standard. I like that a lot. Usually with adjustable comb guns, I'm having to crank them over straight away. This one was pretty much bang on out of the box. Maybe could have tweaked it a little bit towards the end there as I got to know the gun, but for the most part, unbelievably nice in terms of its cast out of the box. You have an ergonomic palm swell, which actually is really nice. You've got a good cutout for the back of your hand there. It's nice. It is a little deep through the wrist by proxy of the action design. The whole grip design and profile and depth is solid. There's a few things you could tweak, but as we said earlier, one cannot be too picky for just over £1,000. You're not looking for perfection, but what you are getting here is a lot of features. A lot of features you'd have to spend a lot more money with other gun makers to get, and that's kind of the beauty of Turkish guns, right, is you're getting a lot of features. There are obviously concessions we can look at in just a second, and that's not to say this is a bad gun, but it would be wrong of me to laud it up and not sort of give you the full breakdown. As I said earlier, the safety catch is inlet, just keeps it feeling tight, keeps it positive, and more importantly, keeps it out of the way. It's a nice looking thing from the side. It doesn't look too obtuse, and yet you still have a big, mean piece of metal in there. If they just plonk that on top, it wouldn't look quite so classy. The wood to metal fit is totally adequate, actually extremely flush in places, little under in some, little over in some. Not going to be too picky there. Again, wood metal fit, short of going to the highest end gun makers in the world, is something that is, well, always going to be variable, but this is actually very nice. You have that scallop back action there. Nice, it makes the whole look of the gun flow well. Quick step back, by the way, it is laser checked on both sides in a, looks like 16 lines per inch pattern. Not too coarse on top, and actually very pleasant, no complaints there. I really do need to double down and emphasize that I like this stock spec and design. The grip is nice, the comb is nice, the cast is nice. It's a great improvement over previous designs. The action itself is somewhat inspired by another gun maker, and you'll be able to guess who that is, as is the ejection system. The ejection system wasn't as clean as some, but then you actually look at the quality of finish on the ejectors, that may be why. It could just be one of those bedding in things. I had the occasional stick on the bottom extractor with both the cartridges I used. No big drama there. I mean, again, it's not like we can't just pull them out and help them finish off, but I would have thought over time, or in fact just with a good clean, this thing does need a good scrub, maybe that would sort itself out. The action seems pretty solid. The actual fit and feel of it isn't perhaps as nice as some, but it is £1,200 with wood like this and features like this. The metal to metal fit isn't that nice, and the hand regulation clearly isn't there in the same sort of ilk as something that costs 10 times the price. And why would it be? Really, it's always a hard thing to put one's notions aside and go, well, it would be nice if they spent another 6 hours or another 10 hours or another 100 hours regulating it, but then it wouldn't be £1,200. When you do close it up, however, it is a really nice firm clunk, and you've got the feeling this gun is stuck together well. The things that are important, meaning the lockup, has been done well. Should probably finish off by saying this is a black chrome finish on the barrels and action. It's nice, it's simple, Sport X laser engraved on the side and Webley and Scott on the bottom. Non-adjustable trigger in the front there that's silver. Aesthetics finished. The forend is one of the things I don't like about this gun. The rest of it I quite like. The forend is quite big, and I think a lot of that feeling and lack of contouring is actually why I had to shoot it the way I had to shoot it. I didn't have a lot of left hand control, and so I had to do a lot of driving with my right hand and my core, which is absolutely fine. It would be nice to see a little bit more contouring on the forend, but it doesn't feel bad. It's just worth mentioning. Everyone has different size hands. My hands are pretty average. If I had bigger hands, maybe I'd prefer it. If I had smaller hands, maybe I'd prefer it. But that's one of the few things which is interesting, given they spent such a long time contouring and making that stock as beautiful and as ergonomic as it is, that this forend could have done with maybe a little bit more work. The barrels, as I said, come in 30 and 32 inch. This is 30 inch solid midrib, vented top rib, which I believe is 10mm non-taper, and a selection of 5 chokes. In there today I had skeet and quarter, which broke everything. I was going to shoot it out here today. There wasn't anything too extreme. It comes in a cardboard box, which for £1,200 you can't really complain about. No drama there. Balance wise, out of the box, it is quite front heavy. And as what I was saying earlier about it being £8.6, it's actually just a shade under. I think it's about £8.4. It's booked at £8.6, but this is £8.4. Weight distribution is as important as overall weight. What I'd love to do with this gun is put some weights in the back, just maybe in the grip, just to level it out a bit, bring that weight somewhere between the hands, and go out and shoot it again. Because there's nothing to say that spending a few hours titivating couldn't have this gun upgraded or better for me. And a lot of it is obviously personal preference. This is the beauty of there being so many guns on the market now, is that personal preference is there, and our knowledge and understanding of guns and balance is higher than it ever was, right? The internet has helped us all. There's so much information out there. Overall, I think I actually like it more than I thought I was going to like it. Even though the handling and the design wasn't exactly, or didn't sort of calculate on the range exactly as I thought, I sort of came to find it quite easy to shoot by the end of it. I can see this is a great option for someone starting out, or somebody stepping up from an entry-level Turkish gun who still wants to keep that warranty without sort of breaking the bank. If you look on some shelves, you can get these for less than RRP always if you shop around, and there's some bargains to be had. If you want a gun that looks, well, it looks more than a £1,289, there's a lot to be said for it. I can appreciate people who want warranty, and I can appreciate that this is actually quite a nice thing. Overall, for the price, I really can't complain. I'd love to know what you think, and hell, if you can get to the British Shooting Show, enter. It's definitely not a bad gun to have in the cabinet, and even if you just go and have a play with it, I'd love to know your thoughts once you've got to know it a little better. and actually got your eyes on this up close and personal. Yeah, you could pick holes in it, but probably not for the price. Thank you for watching TGS Outdoors. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, like it, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and share it with your friends. This channel would not exist without the support of our amazing sponsors. They really do keep this content coming week after week. Thank you also to our channel members. You guys are amazing. If you want to know more about channel membership, there's a join button down there. Click it, you get some free extra content, you get early releases, occasionally we get together and shoot some clays. Take care guys, we'll catch you soon.
Break my heart and leave me hurt. The next one just gonna do me worse.